It's always been a great continent, hasn't it? Well, all great things have mirror errors. Where there are lights, there are also darkness. And in the case of Oceania, we have the richest and poorest. Today we'll be looking at the difference between Oceania Best, Australia, and Oceania Worst, Kiribati.
The GDP of Australia is 48,762 euros per capita. GDP of Kiribati is 1.376 million euros per capita.
HDI stands for Human Development Index, and it measures a country's achievements where a perfect score is a 1 and the worst is a 0. When it comes to Australia, it has a score of 0.93, and that's pretty high. Now, with Kiribati, it's a different story. It has a score of 0.61, which isn't enough.
Literacy means education. How educated are the teenagers? How much data advance in their studies? Oceania is not known for their educational system, yet Australia has an excellent literacy rate of 90%, and Kiribati could do a better job, but it has a pretty decent score with 86% of literacy.
Life expectancy is meant to represent how many years do people tend to live in the places. In Australia, people live till they are 82 years old, and there's a high difference with Kiribati, where the longest a person can live is 69 years.
Due to Australia's medical treatment being expensive but one of the most effective, some people must send in a recommendation letter to the government for the treatment. In Kiribati, the government provides free medical services to all of its population without taking in consideration if they work or not.
The human poverty index in Kiribati is 45%, and in Australia it is 13.2%. Talking about gender equality, the difference between men and women in Kiribati is of 0.354%, contrasting with Australia with 85%. Australia expends $23,129.7 million in research, development, and investigation. Kiribati can just expend 0.30% of its PIB.
Kiribati people cannot get internet as easily because only 0.5% has access to the internet. In Australia, 86% of the people have full access of technology.
Well, all the results were kind of surprising. For example, I was expecting the gender equality index was higher in Kiribati than Australia, but I was completely wrong.
That's because in Australia there are fewer poor inhabitants, and well, most of the people care about economic standards a lot, so they considered it a huge problem when inequality begins.
It's hard to believe that while we're having a comfortable life, there are people trying to survive with a minimum amount of money.
There are a lot of disadvantages for those people, like less and worse service, resulting in a bad life quality as well.
We also have to take into account several factors that affect people's lives, such as corruption and poverty.
At the end, we are all people, and we have to see for those who need help.